All right, so today we are going to chat megapixels. Why would we do that? Because a lot of people are often concerned about 100 megapixels and 50 megapixels in their computer, and they think, oh my God, if I get into the GFX system, I need to upgrade my computer. Well, today we're going to take a look at that. But first, let me go get a coffee. All right. I'm good now. All right, so this won't be a very long video. I just want to show you how my computers will react to 50 megapixel and 100 megapixel files. And for this video, I'm going to be using my Mac Mini, the new M1 Mac Mini 16 gigs. And then I will also be using my 2015 MacBook Pro. Now let's dive into the MacBook Pro 15-inch, which is, quite a bit older in terms of computers. So let's go and have a look at that. So importing the 50 megapixel file, here we go. Let's go into the develop module and let's zoom in. Again, the shot is blurry, we know it's not important, but I can drag it around. It's a little bit less fluid, but still, I don't see a real problem playing with the sliders now. Contrast, highlights, and shadows. No problem there. Changing the white balance. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it stutters a little bit in terms of the interface, but in terms of performance, I mean, it's fine. It's not really slowing me down at all. So really, I would say no real issues there in terms of performance while doing some, adjustments on the 50 megapixel file on my 2015 MacBook Pro. All right, now time to export. Now let's take a look at the 100 megapixel image. So let's import it into Lightroom. Here we go. Let's go into the develop module. Load it in. A little stutter in terms of the interface, in terms of zooming. And it's taking maybe, I would say 5 seconds maybe to get it loaded perfectly. But now I can play with my adjustments, and as you can see, no real problems there. I can move the sliders around. It works. Let's change the white balance. Still good. And then play with the clarity just to see. And now let's see if I zoom in, and now you see it's fully loaded, so I don't have any issues zooming in at 100% and get a sharp image. So yeah, I would say it's not too bad. I don't see any problems working with that. Again, I can zoom in. Once it's loaded in at 100% and then it's fully rendered, I would say you can zoom back in and check focus, and there won't be any real issues because the file is already loaded. So initially on a 2015 MacBook Pro, you might have to wait maybe 4 to 5 seconds for it to be loaded completely and be at a full resolution. But once it's done, you're good to go. So yeah, I don't see any real issues there. Definitely a little bit slower, but I mean, this is a 6-year-old machine, and I know a lot of people do have this MacBook Pro 2015 because it was the last MacBook Pro with all the ports, the full HDMI, the SD card slot, and everything. So personally, I don't see any problems there. Time to export now. And here we go. Now let's dive into my M1 Mac Mini 16 gigs. So let's open up a 50 megapixel file from the GFX 50S. So as you can see, smart previews are built. That's what I usually set it onto. Now let's get to the develop module. Zooming in, moving around, no problem. Let's play with the settings a little bit, see if it goes smoothly. And as you can see, no problem on the Mac Mini. Even with some profiles added to it, I can still, make adjustments and move around. And that's with the GFX 50S with 50 megapixels. All right, now let's export it. And here we go. All right, now let's jump to the GFX 100S. So I'm going to import the image. Smart preview is created. Going to the develop module, you can see took a little, like 1 or 2 seconds there to fully load in the full resolution image, but I can go back and zoom in and now it's fully loaded, no problem. I can drag it around, and then as you can see, it's pretty fluid. Now let's play with the sliders a little bit, see if it goes smoothly. So again, this is 100 megapixels, and as you can see, I can play around with the sliders, making adjustments, no problem. Adding a profile on it, changing white balance. Again, zooming in, no problem here. All right, now let's export it and see how long it takes. And here we go. So I think that demonstrates right here, if you do have one of the latest Mac Mini M1, you won't have any problems using either 50 megapixels or the 100 megapixels files into Lightroom with your Mac Mini M1. So in conclusion, I would say if you're worried about the performance of your computer on a 100 megapixel file, I don't think you should be too worried. I think you should maybe just consider looking at external hard drives, and then that could play in a balance, because the 100 megapixel files are definitely heavier than 50 megapixels or 24 megapixels. So that's something to be on the lookout for. But in terms of performance, I don't really see any issues there. But you did saw the performance, so I guess it's up to you to make up your mind if that was fast enough or not. All right, so that wraps it up for this video. I hope it was helpful. And if you would like to see more videos like this and you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And then for now, I'm gonna get back to enjoying my coffee.